Alright everyone, today I'm turning a 40-year-old model into a model that I can use on my narrow gauge model railway.
And this is the loco in question. A couple of things initially. I'd quite like to get rid of that chimney and replace it with something a little bit more British looking. Body comes off like this to reveal the motor. But yeah, this is the model in question. Now my initial job is going to be to take the body off, so I can do a little bit of servicing on the chassis, which is kind of like mold, which kind of has like some of the bodywork around it. I think it's quite common for this company to do that. Give it a quick service, get it running, and then what I'm going to do with this is scrape off these handrails, and then I am going to add on some ones made of wire, such as that one there. So that's what I'm going to do now.
No prizes for guessing what my first body related task was to do. Massively useful product that I've used for this actually is something called the green stuff from Citadel. It gets into all the nooks and crannies obviously when you over drill size for these handrail holes. Really rather useful, so I'm just going to make sure everything's nice and straightened out, and then I reckon we'll go in with the first layer of primer. I'm considering whether to keep the raised details on the side or whether just to sand them off. Yeah, not decided yet, but yeah, what's going to happen is I'm going to spray this bit our colour, because I've gone out and got it today and it's slightly different to what I wanted, but and the main boiler part will be kept a plain black, kind of like some of the Andrew Barclays that I've seen in preservation. So yeah, I've been doing some more filling since, and I've decided that it's time to do some spraying, which I'll do in this colour right here. Not really a perfect match for the previous locos that I've done in 009, but it's the closest I can get. It's been a hot minute actually since we've had a look at this, and you can kind of tell it's finished its repaint. I've begun to touch the buffers in. There have been decals applied, it's getting the number 5, and I'm just beginning to paint some of the details. You can see here the chimney was originally a weird metally sort of colour. It's actually a body screw. I was going to get rid of it because it looks really European. This being a Jouef, Edgar, whatever brand it is. I think it ended up being both at one point. But with it being that, they're not based on anything massively realistic. So what I was going to try and do is add like a more British style chimney. It's just not going to work. So yeah, maybe it's like a German import or something like that. I've got some builder's plates that just sat there to stick on the sides to replace the moulded ones. But yeah, it's not looking too bad, to be fair. I'm hoping the originals like act as like a base for it to go off. But yeah, that's basically a little update so far. I was going to paint the wheels as well, but it's just not worth it when they're so small. It does run though, which is brilliant, and a massive win, and I'm really quite glad that I did the handrails now, because I think it really just lifts the look of this model. Gonna have to get creative, I think, in terms of fitting a figure. But yeah, we'll rock and roll. So a little bit more has been done on the detailing front. Kind of gone over the buffer beams there, and I'm just beginning to put in the window surrounds as well. Thought a nice copper colour makes it look a little bit more loved and lived in. What I am going to do, in keeping with my mid-pots tradition, is to give the locos copper cap chimneys. Now this was taken from a guy who had like a miniature railway. He had some Hunslet stuff, but he requested, it was like a mineral railway, but it was like, I think it was 15 or 17 inch gauge. I've forgotten what it is exactly. But basically he requested all of his locos have copper caps to the chimneys because it made them look proper, which I think is quite cool, and I'm just going to carry through into my own. I'm just using this Humbrol colour. Just go a couple of mil below, just so it looks like it's got a little bit of a copper cap. It'll also hopefully make this look a little bit more British. You can see I have also added some nameplate, some number plates on there. These are Hunslet ones. You can see it says Leeds, but it's kind of over where the Hector logo was before.
So yeah, I think it looks quite cool there. Only annoying thing is, in the time that this has been stored, I've lost the front coupling, so I'm going to need to find a way of making another one of them. But for the moment, I'm quite happy with how this is looking. A little bit more time on it, and I reckon we're onto a bit of a winner here.
With that being done, my attention has turned to the weathering process, which my intention for this is for it to be quite lightly weathered. So all I've done is taken some of this rail match tone, spread it over the model, and then now all I need to do is to just work around that with a cotton bud. I decided to do it off camera because I'm not sure if you noticed. It's really tricky to do without a tripod. Yeah, just downward motions there. You can kind of see how it's got a core in the Revit detail there. I'm going to wait for it to dry and peck the paint underneath the handrails out with a cocktail stick, probably that one there. But yeah, I'm going to do that for the rest of the body. Work worn, very clean though, is the impression I'm going to go for.
I then painted some of the pipework into a coppery sort of colour, a little bit like on the Andrew Barclays and some European narrow gauge locos that I've seen. I love this angle of the back end of the loco. I think it's really, really stout. Couldn't find a way of fitting a crew in a way that I liked. They seemed to be perpetually like leaning out, or like almost like leaning out with a gut over the line, over the bodywork to kind of fit in. Didn't quite work as well as I wanted, but the general weathering's quite good, to be fair. I think I'm quite happy with it. Did a little bit to the boiler and that sort of stuff, but obviously it shows up far better on the light green. It's not quite the same light green that I used on my previous 009 stuff, but I think it's a pretty close match. And yeah, I started this project wanting to build a narrow gauge loco for my narrow gauge railway, and I think I've done that. Let me know what you think of the video and the modelling in the comment section below, and I'll catch you in the next one. I don't know what it'll be, to be honest with you.